and I just need better glasses. But hey, look at that, ladies and gentlemen, we are recording. It is your host, JK'z. I am back. Before I introduce the show, I want to give a big shout out to last week's host, Becky Cherwalk, who was currently out trick-or-treating with her daughter. You, Becky Cherwalk, and George Muzzy and Eric Evans, you guys did an excellent show. I listened to it the next day. You guys had me cracking up. You guys are naturals. I love it. Thank you all for doing that. And it wasn't easy, as I know. I heard Becky say yesterday. It's not as easy when you're not prepared, when you don't write stuff down. And guess what? I didn't write stuff down, so we're just gonna go ahead and wing it. So this is JK'z Rewatchable Hour. I am your host, J Dubs. Depending on how you look at the screen, and I always butcher it because however Skype puts it out, it's always wrong. But to the right, in the right-hand corner, is Mr. George Muzzy. To my right is my wife, Jen. Below George Muzzy is Beth Brown. Below me is Mr. Eric Evans. Tonight's episode is about pets. We're going to share some funny stories, and we're going to talk about the loss of a pet. We're going to talk grief. How is everybody doing tonight?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
Good. As we all know, tonight's show was it was suggested by Eric. So Eric, as the rule, which there is no rules on this show, you are the one who thought of the topic. So I'm going to hand the show over to you, and you can start talking about pets.
All right, sounds good. How I come up with the idea of talking about what we're going to talk about tonight on the topic is being that you just had a close loss in your family, Jeff, with your cat Sassy, and I thought about it through the week, and I'm like, that'd be a perfect time to talk about families, kids, parents, what have you, that have mental illness with when you do lose a pet. Pets are like kids, and to some people that don't have families and aren't fortunate, and they use them as companions, as emotional support animals. And when you do lose something like that, it can be, very hard on people. So that's why I come up with the idea, and, what better time than this week? I have a few stories myself. Recently we adopted a stray cat that was in our neighborhood for a good month or two. She was kind of homeless, and she kept hanging around our house, and I did some research and trying to figure out who really it belonged to, without taking it in and stuff. And finally one day I come home on a Friday, and the cat just followed me in the door. I couldn't stop him. Couldn't stop her. Ended up being, it's a girl cat. She went right to the food dish like she's been here 100 times. It was weird. But she was meowing really bad, starving, real skinny. And so we took her in, and she's been a great cat. We found out later on, we did some research, found out where she's from, and what happened was the family moved out of the village, and they basically left her stranded, homeless.
Oh.
So we rescued her, and we called her name is Mystery. And we come up with the name Mystery because she was a mystery cat. We didn't know where she come from. So we, but she's been great. It's going on 2 years. Will be in April. We've had her, and great. She's just she's a good hunting cat. She stays outside. The neighborhood likes her. She still does what she used to do when she was homeless. She goes to all the places that she used to go to, but she just ends up back at our house at the end of the day and whatever. And but a quick story. I don't want to take too much time here, but quick story is when she comes we come up in the driveway, or we get company or whatever. She's always around somewhere. Nobody really knows where she is, but all of a sudden she'll come out in the driveway, and she'll jump right up on your car and look at you like, what are you doing here? She's like a security cat. It's funny. She does it almost with everybody, and with ourselves, and we're out of town and stuff. She would come home, and she does the same thing. So you get a welcome by your cat every day you come home. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
But, yeah.
And how old do you think the cat is?
We took her and got her all checked out when we first got her. They were saying about 3 to 4 years old, because we took and got her shots updated. We got her spayed, all that kind of stuff, because we weren't 100% sure if she was done or not. And we did the right thing as owning a pet, to keep her healthy and make sure she was healthy. And being that she was homeless for at least a month, we're thinking at least a month she was homeless and eating whatever she could find to eat to survive. It was pretty sad.
And she acknowledges when you call Mystery. She acknowledge. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, now she does. Oh yeah, there she is right here.
Oh, where is she?
You're right here. Oh.
Oh, stop.
Yeah. All right. Oh,
Hi,
there she is.
Megan.
Yeah, she's right there. Oh,
Oh, look
there
at
she is. Hey, Mystery.
Ouch, you're scratching me.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, bye, we
Yep.
go to football.
But she's
Oh, that was
great.
awesome. Awesome.
But we also have another cat too. She's an older one. She's like 12, 13 years old. Her name's Bella. And she's, been around a long time. She's getting old, but she's still here, and we have fun with her as well. She's just getting older, and her health isn't quite as good. I mean, she's still healthy. It's just she walks a little funny once in a while and things like that. There's Bella.
Oh,
Yeah, the baby.
Yep.
and for our viewers, that is Eric's daughter, Megan. She occasionally makes an appearance when her dad needs technical help. So, hi, Megan.
Right. She's my IT person.
Okay,
That's awesome. Do the cats, what was the word I always use? Coexist?
What's that?
Do the both cats coexist, or they don't really?
They kind of keep distant, but there's times that they get around each other. Mystery, we call Mystery other than her name. She's actually a COVID cat. That's kind of a little fun saying, because she like stays 6 feet away from you. Like she'll come up to you, like you can hold her, but like a couple minutes and she's like scratching and crawling to get away from you. So she's like a COVID cat. She'll stay 6 feet away from you. I don't know what it is. It's weird. I don't know if it's something that her past owners trained her, or it's her defense because she's, been out in the wilderness and probably been haunted by people and scared. And so I don't know. She's, but if you like sit around and just like, usually it's just her and I in the room or something, nobody's home, she'll come up and sit next to you. But if somebody's around, like the family or friends or whatever, she won't sit next to you. It's weird. It's like on her terms. If it ain't her terms,
Which it typically comes to a cat.
Yep. They're just distant, and other than that, she's a real lovable cat, and we enjoy having her here, and I'm glad we took her in, and we made the best out of it.
Absolutely awesome. Thank you for that story. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to look at we're getting is that the side eye? Okay, so go ahead, George. Yeah.
That's Saint, the one that had the knee surgery. Doesn't he look like he's smiling?
I thought he was giving us the side eye. Like, why are you putting the camera on me? So go ahead, George. Introduce talk about your animals.
Okay. Before we got the animals we have, we had a big dog, another big dog. His name was Furby. He was named before we got him. He was a 50% yellow lab. Or no, golden retriever. He was a 50% golden retriever. But when we first got him, when me and my wife both worked days, and I would have him on a chain. We actually kind of nicknamed him Houdini. I put him on, and he had a dog, the dog chain. You go and you buy it at the pet store, and he broke it. So I bought the larger dog chain. He broke it.
Okay. Wow.
Then I got him a cable that was rated for a 250-pound dog. Now he's like 110 pounds is all he was. He twisted that cable and twisted it and twisted it and twisted it until it snapped.
Like the coated cable? Like the
cable. Like you buy the cable.
Wow.
Wow.
But he twisted it until it broke. Then I had to special order it. It's like a small log chain. It's not a log chain, but it's like a small one that won't twist, that won't get tangled up. And now he was at the time he was attached to a homemade doghouse that I built out of hardwood lumber. The doghouse, I had to make it in two pieces so I could tear it apart and move it. It weighed about 350 pounds.
Wow.
He drug it about 150 feet.
Oh my God.
The ring on his collar stretched out and he was able to get off.
Wow. Unbelievable.
I bought him. I bought him a kennel, and he never got out of the kennel. He just didn't want to be on the chain, apparently.
Wow. Crazy.
But-
Maybe from previous
Yeah, I mean-
owners, maybe?
I say that he did get out of the kennel one time. He was out there during the day, and apparently it was winter, but it wasn't cold. Apparently, snow had drifted in, and he was able to walk right over top of the kennel.
Hmm.
He just walked up the snowbank and out the other side.
Wow.
Now,
That's
I took
hilarious.
him outside. If I would take him outside and just let him run, I would call him and he'd come right to me. But if he escaped, he would, when I would call him, he would run at you, and when he was about 2 feet away from you, dart the other way and just take off.
Wow. You ever come back when he takes off?
Yeah. He was just kind of, having fun the whole time. If he escaped, it was, you're not going to get me. If
Right.
I let him out, he would come right back. I could let him out and call him 3 seconds later, and he'd come right back.
Right back.
But if he escaped, I could be out there for half an hour trying to get him.
Wow. It's a workout.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna have to ask your wife Jen if she has video of you going out to try it.
Oh my God.
I don't think we ever got a video of that, but
Darn.
the one video I sent was our little cat, was one of our cats that we still have. She's still here. And I don't know if you watched the video when I sent it.
Briefly.
He's licking the cat.
Oh,
Oh yeah, yes.
We jokingly said he's tenderizing the cat for later. Because he would do it all the time. I mean, he would just sit there and just constantly do it. She would climb right into his arms, and he would just lick it,
wow.
lick the cat.
I don't know how well this will show up on camera, but I just want to show the other two.
Oh my.
Oh,
Wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Crazy.
she would always just climb into his arms, and he would just lick her.
Jeez.
That's kind
She
of
just
hoping.
laid there.
What the kitten you were holding before? Where's that one?
I don't know. Probably chasing her brother. The one I had tonight, that was the new female. That was Poppy.
Okay, yeah, you
The one
said
that we,
something.
the one that we just took to the vet on Sunday because she had a cold.
Okay.
I hear them. I don't see them.
Not yet, anyways.
Yeah.
So how many animals do you have? Like 4?
Well, technically, we have 2 big dogs. The one I just showed you.
Yeah.
And we got her sister. Technically, we have 3 because my son's dog, but my son takes care of his dog.
Hmm.
And then we got 4 cats in the house.
Oh wow.
No, we got 5 cats in the house. Wow.
Wow.
5 cats in the house.
Wow.
And we got like a bunch of, we got a few strays. We don't have as many strays as we did.
Yeah.
One of the strays that we were kind of feeding got hit by a car, and we don't know what happened to the other ones. We believe that the 2 of them, they were brother and sister. They're like 2 years old. Believe because of how well groomed and temperamental they were.
Right.
They probably ended up going to another house in the area, and somebody just let them in, like we did.
Right.
All right. Yeah. We have
Yeah, because the only one that we have found was a more recent mother, and we found her. My son found her on the side of the road.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the new ones. We got 4. About 2 to 2.5 months old, and we got the mother of them that we got to get fixed, and then hopefully that'll end them multiplying out there.
Right. Exactly. That's
One day,
why,
one day we're out there, and we started with 2 that came around.
mhm.
And I think we were at like 9 or 10 at one point.
Say 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah. Well, the males, there's 2 males that come around once in a while. I mean, I can pet them a little, but not enough to catch them.
Hmm.
If I could catch them, then it would stop it at that end as well.
I don't know if you can hear Jen George, but her mom catches stray cats, and she's like, "My mom can come help you."
All right.
Let her- she can come right on over. She can take it if she wants.
I won't say names, but I have a really good friend, and this individual, their cats get out all the time, and and before you know it, that my friend is telling me, "Yep, gonna have kittens again," and just like, I mean, I don't know, it's just but yeah, I don't want to say names just because it's not their fault. It's just they're animal lovers just like us. So
Yeah.
Well, you know how to fix not having kittens.
You got that right.
Beth, your 2 dogs that we saw in the beginning.
Oh,
Where are
yeah.
they at?
They are, well, one's laying down because she hurt herself. I don't know what she did. She hurts herself. She goes out and runs in the backyard. She's older, so she usually pulls something. So, she's in resting right now on some anti-inflammatories and stuff. But Luna is my baby. Luna. They're probably both laying down. As you could see, they were working out with me earlier. Oh, here they come.
Oh, yep. There you go.
And what kind of dogs are they?
To sleep.
Heard you talking.
Boxers. Okay.
Oh wow. Yeah.
One is half red nose and boxer.
Yeah.
This is my limpy girl right now. So she's
Aww.
my half pit, half boxer, and she's so beautiful and so friendly and totally not at all what everybody says about pitties. I mean, they are beautiful, they are smart, she's loving, she loves people so much. Yeah, she just wants to hug and everything. She's great. My little one, who is actually the bigger one, but she's younger, and she is a lovable can I swear on here? She's a lovable a-hole.
Yeah.
She is so sweet and loving, but then she does things that you're like, what are you doing? But she's good. She's a baby, but she's pretty big and solid and loves to hug people and knock them over. So
When you each George and Beth, when you guys let your dogs out, do they stay in the yard, or do you I don't know where you guys live. That's why I'm asking. I don't know if you guys live in town or. So Jen and I, we live on the country, and luckily when Dozer was little and Jen lived in Romulus, she walked him around her property, so we can just open the door and he never runs away. He never goes to the road except for when he kind of has an attitude, and that was only twice. But we said that we were going to call grandma on him, and but I mean, I'm just curious, I'm not really sure where you guys live, but do you guys have chains or fenced in kennels throughout the property? I know, George, you have some big property, but
Yeah. I put mine in kennels during the day. I think the guy I showed you, I could let out and I'd be fine. I don't know about the girl, only because remember I told you about her anxiety.
mm-hmm.
I don't trust her to run alone.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know what she'll do if she runs into another animal.
Yeah, right.
We use a outdoor kennel to let them out to go to the bathroom, just because I hate cleaning up stuff in the regular part of the yard. I don't want anybody stepping in it. But this is Luna, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Lunatic.
Just so you're aware, if you see me laughing or jumping at me, it's because you guys are putting your animals in the picture, and it's just so cute. Eric, when you held your cat up, I don't know if you guys ever seen the video. If I find it, I'll send it to you all. Okay. It said when you it was a short or a reel on Facebook. It said when you lie on your resume, and it was a cat that was hanging on the window like meowing for help,
right.
and this guy was chasing a mouse. That's what your cat looked like. That's what it reminded me of.
Right.
Oh,
Here's a lazy one. That's Bella. Hey, Bella. Bella,
look.
say hi.
Aw. We would show you Dozer, but he's working on his 17th nap. But
I was gonna say, where's he at?
yeah, no, he's over there working on his nap, and I have everything hooked up to the laptop, so I would have to disconnect. But when we edit it, I'll include everything. I'm just trying to look and
Oh.
right now we just have Dozer, who very lucky. He's 15. 15.
15. Oh.
And he's my bestest buddy. He's the one that goes to the refrigerator with me before bed, in case we need like a snack or and
after work and after dinner and
Right.
before bed.
so he's got to have his, and he's got us trained. Some of his routines are he knows that I'm gonna go get ready for bed and he's gonna get 2 treats. If I don't give him 2 treats, he lays on the ground and he huffs and puffs. And usually, if we're out here watching a game or TV or whatever, and it's about 7:30, he will start whimpering because that's his bedtime.
Bedtime. Yeah.
But when Jen got him, very lucky. I mean, he just stays in the yard. He doesn't chase squirrels or the fox that we have running around.
Right. Was he was Dozer, or was he like a rescue dog, or did you get him just like?
I got Dozer when he was 6 months old.
Okay.
My friend had him. The person I was with at the time, we wanted to get an animal, and I got a message from her one day saying that she had a dog and they didn't really want it. So I had to pick up her son to bring him to Waterloo, and I went there and I saw him in the house, and I'm like, that's it. I'm taking him.
Take him. Yep.
So it's the best decision I ever made. That dog, 15 years I've had him, and he got me through a lot emotionally, mentally. I had some hard times a few years ago, so he's my protector. He doesn't like men. First time Jeff came to the house, I'm like, you better get a treat. I'm like, if Dozer doesn't like you, I don't know if this is going to work.
Right.
Oh, but he did. He brought a treat, and now look what you got. It's your own fault.
Right.
And I don't know, like, if I ever share any of the videos, but I have a separate YouTube that I had started like years ago, and so I started making videos of Dozer, and I dub him the world's most okayest guard dog because, like, when
he was good when he was younger.
When he hears you come in the door, he like lets you get into the house for like 10 minutes before he comes out, and when he comes, like, so our front door's over there, and you got to come into the kitchen, so he'll come around just like okay. All scared, like if he doesn't know who it is, and
Right.
but I mean, I think Dozer was he thought he was gonna shoo me off when I first came down to Romulus, but I bribed him with treats, and but just like every animal, over the course of 5 or 6 years, he's gotten up there in age. He used to get up on the couch with me every morning and take his little nap. I'd give him some coffee out of my coffee cup, but
Right.
It does on Sundays, but it takes like 20 minutes. We're like, come on, and he finally jumps up there.
Just before we go to commercial, we try. Believe it or not, him and Sassy got along. It was only like the last couple of months, and it's actually a funny story. Sassy was retaining fluid. She got really big, so we took her to the vet.
Okay.
They took she had a UTI, and they drained a pound of fluid out. And so when we brought Sassy back, she was a changed person, or a changed cat. She wanted to be outdoors, right? And really weird is I have all these videos of Dozer and her next to each other sitting, and like, they never got this close. But like, Sassy would be laying on the ottoman, and he'd come over and just like sniff her, and she wouldn't do anything, or he'd walk you know, she'd wait under the ramp for him outside, and I have a video of them sitting down behind the baby gate because that's how we had to stop Cassie from running out the door, and they're
Yeah.
both just sitting there. I'm like, you know, it took 5.5 years, but you know, animals are,
Yeah.
you know, you're right, Eric. You know, I know, like my mom used to have a dog, and that was her, you know, that was her companion. That was, you know, and animals are very, very important. You know, I just anybody who has an animal and like I don't even know who the people is, but about a mile down the road, out in the back of this person's house, they have like 6 dog
There's one
houses.
down there.
Yeah, and like you always see dogs out there, and I'm like,
I don't know, breeding place. or
yeah,
what?
I'm just like,
Right.
why the fuck do you have all these
Yep.
dog houses? But you know,
Right.
I just believe, you know, even if like you have goldfish or whatever, you got to treat animals like family. And you know,
Yep.
after the commercial break, we'll get into that. But George, how many
Sure.
dogs do you? I forgot to ask. How many you have? 2 or 3 dogs?
We have 2, but my son has 1, so technically we have 3.
That's right. Oh, there it is in the back. Oh, look at.
They're both there.
Oh,
The cat's like, I do not want to be held.
I know. Look at that kid. Cat's like, give me. So listen, I'm gonna find the video I was telling you about where the cat's trying to. You know what I'm talking about, Eric, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's commercial, isn't it?
No, it's a reel, and the cat's
Oh.
meowing loud, and this guy's trying to get a broom, trying to get this mouse, and the
Yeah,
caption
yeah.
was like, "Can you lie on your resume?" And
Right.
I every time I see it, I just die laughing. But
I think didn't you put that on the group the other day or on Facebook or something? I think you
Oh,
shared
God.
it.
maybe.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Huh.
I think you did before your cat passed on. I think it was a couple days before that. When
I'll
were
have
kinda-
to look for it. Yeah, I'll have
Yeah.
to look for it.
you were just kinda- I
Um,
think it's on there.
All right. So just before we go to commercial, let me see if I remember the names: Mystery,
Bella.
Well,
Bella, Luna,
Mhm.
Tank.
Take Dell.
No, Luna and who?
Cardi.
Carney.
Cardi. Okay, and
Our George's 5 cats.
I can't remember names. I'm sorry. What's the name of all your animals, George?
The ones we have now, we got Saint, Chewy, and Bentley are the dogs. We have the cats. We have Hisser. Poppy's the new one.
Poppy up.
We have Smokey. She's the one that's appeared. He's the one that's appeared the last few weeks on camera. And we have, oh my God, I think my son's cat is named Minuto. I call it.
No?
The
I don't
Ricky Martin? Ricky Martin? Wait,
Ricky
we just
Martin. I call it little shit, but you know, whatever. And
that's a good point.
I don't know where the black one is. She was just out here, but yeah,
She
we
is
haven't
from-
named all the ones outside yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
I'm sure we will, but
Yeah, her mom will come over and help you name them. Don't worry about it. Hey, George, you just gave me before we go to commercial break. Other than the names that you call them, what are some of the nicknames that you call your animals?
Oh man, you're gonna laugh at this one.
I don't have a nickname for Saint. I just call him Saint. My son calls Smokey Gandalf. I guess because he's gray and Gandalf had a gray beard, I guess. I call this one, if she gets over here, sometimes we call her Broken Tail. The one that I sent you the video of Furby licking,
Yeah.
she has a crooked tail. Yeah, she ran away.
Ah,
She has a crooked tail. Like when she was a baby or something, the tail got broken. So it comes straight out and then turns. So it's like
Oh.
this.
Oh.
Okay.
A broken tail and a crooked leg.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, And obviously, like I said, we used to call Furby Houdini because he would get out all the time.
Right? Yeah.
I don't have a lot of nicknames for him. I call them what they are, except for, like I said, my son's cat, which I call Little Shit. He's not little anymore, but he
Right.
was when I started calling him that.
Yeah. What about you, Elizabeth? Do you have any nicknames for yours?
Well, Luna, lunatic, and sometimes we just call her Tuna or Tuna Fish. And then Cardi, we just call her Mama. She's older, so she's kind of like the alpha and, but slow, but everybody kind of is like, coddles her because she is just, I don't know, loving and sweet. So we call her Mama.
Excellent, excellent. Eric?
We call Bella. She's the old one. We call her Belle or B. And then she inherited a name here lately after her legs started wobbling in the back. We call her rubber band legs because she walks kind of funny. So we kind of, she's just old but she's still hanging in there. She's a trooper and she's going, and her legs got messed up because she used to jump from our back deck up on the roof of the house. And we think she jumped off the house one time and fell. And that's what, made her walking abilities kind of not as good anymore. But she's hanging in there. She's not in pain or anything. So we just keep letting her go. And then we call Mystery. We call her, what do we call Mystery? We call her Mist. We call her Mufflers. We call her, what's the other name? We call her Mufflers because she's always hanging underneath people's cars.
Mystery.
Oh,
Where the muffler and stuff is on the car. So you kind of like call her Mufflers.
gotcha.
Security guard, whatever. Other than that, that's about it.
For Dozer, I call him Buddy a lot. She calls him Boner.
You call him Boner too.
Yeah, we just have nicknames. Sassy was always Princess or
Amigos,
Dos Amigos, Dos Sakis.
Jen, she got an award for the best nickname of the show. Boner's the best one of the show. That wins the award.
It came out in front of my mom one day. I'm like, oh, I go, come here, Boner. Mom's like, what? I go, nothing.
Yep.
That's funny.
But I think that we all have nicknames for our cat or for our animals. I just think it just Jen's mom used to call Sassy Lassie. So
And they know all their names.
Yeah.
They all clever.
But we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We're gonna get some more water or whatever, and we're gonna come right back. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Oh wait!
She's drinking my water.
Mystery.
And so just before we go, when Dozer and I would have coffee time, I wouldn't let him drink out of my cup, obviously, but I would put my finger in it and I'd put it on his tongue. So it was coffee time for him and I, but he just can't jump up on the couch too much.
And cereal.
It's cereal. So Sassy would be sleeping somewhere, right? I would get cereal. She would know, and she'd come and she'd want to lick the milk out of the bowl.
Mister, drinking my water.
Aww.
Oh, you silly goose.
Quick commercial break. Be right back.
Doesn't know any better. She's just so used to surviving or something.
Yeah.
She'll just come up and start eating stuff, and I don't know.
Mystery.
We don't worry about it.
But that's just part of having a pet. I mean, but hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This is JK'z Rewatchable Hour. We are talking pets. We hope you enjoyed the first stage of this. So now we are going to talk about the mental part of when you lose a pet. And as usual, there's no itinerary on the show, but I think Jen and I will go. Obviously this show is because Eric suggested it. If you missed the first part or don't know, recently Jen and I lost a cat. I had Sassy since 2009, 9. And she was. I always said that she had the single child syndrome. She didn't want any other animals around. So when Jen moved in, obviously she brought Dozer, and I don't think she's ever saw a dog, and she did not know what to think of this big brown friggin' thing who just probably wanted to lick her to death. And then we had another cat, Peyton. I have pictures of them coexisting together. They shared the bed. And I also have other pictures of them waiting in line to eat. even though there was 2 separate bowls. So a couple years ago, Peyton got sick. I don't know, do you want to talk about that? I know it was kind of.
Oh, I want. Got him.
Okay, go ahead. Yep, talk about Peyton.
No, I got Peyton. A friend of mine, he came up to her house in Waterloo. She knows I'm an animal lover. I grew up with cats and dogs all my life. I just had Dozer, and she couldn't take him in, so I picked him up, and he was all brown cat, no vet. No one's ever seen an all brown cat, no other markings were on him. Named him Peyton, of course, but he was a good cat, and moved in here, and with another cat, but she didn't get along with Sassy, so that cat's at my parents' house. So
Okay.
Peyton, he just wasn't eating, drinking, and brought him to the vet, and he was there for about a week. 5-6 days. I went there and I said his name, and he perked up and he started drinking and eating a little, and I noticed they said he had an infection, and I noticed his ears were yellow, so I mentioned to them about jaundice. I go, it could possibly be his liver, but they just said they didn't know where the infection was, so I want him home. I know if he's gonna pass, I want him home. So they gave me pills, and I'll never shoot pills on an animal again, because that's the hardest thing.
Right.
And one night he was with us for 4 days after we brought him home, and one night he just started making noise, and I was on the phone with my mom, because she's the closest thing to a vet that we know. And mom said that he's gonna pass, and he was on our footstool. And Sassy was on the back of the couch, and Sassy was just watching him. And so I wanted to hold him, so I held him, carried him into bed, laying on my chest, and I had to sit up. So Jeff took him, and he just passed right there. And I was on the phone with my mom still, and I called work that night and said I canceled my clients for the first half of the morning, and I put him comfortable in the bathtub on a pillow, and I took him the next day, and he got cremated. So I think that Sassy picked up some of Peyton, went to Sassy, because Sassy would never come up on my pillow. And then she started coming up on my pillow. That's what Peyton used to do, and she'd watch TV, watch me on my phone. And she would jump on the bed, and Peyton was a little chunky, so he'd use his nails, and you'd hear it. Well, Sassy would do that, would start doing that, and I'm like, oh my God! It happened one day. I was in the other room. I heard it. I'm like, I run in there. I'm like, oh my God, because I thought it was Peyton back from but it was Sassy. I'm like,
right.
So, on the night that Peyton, Jen had said it, he was on the footstool, and so Sassy, who never really cared what any of the other animals were doing, was just glaring at Peyton, and I just assumed that a little bit of Peyton went inside Sassy. I know it might sound made up, but like Jen said, she had certain characteristics that only Peyton did, and like she made his sound, and her little fat butt couldn't jump up on the bed anymore, and she never wanted to watch TV, but she used to get on Jen's pillow, watch TV, watch her phone.
animals can sense. They know.
And then and that was but Dozer and Peyton got along, and Peyton used to walk underneath Dozer. It was just it was kind of funny, and then
so tall.
Just as you all know, Saturday, I wasn't laughing when she was telling her story. I just saw George's dog, and the face, he just looked like he was smiling. I was enjoying it. So as we were saying earlier, Sassy was retaining fluid. We took her to the vet. They said that she had a UTI. They gave her a pill or medication that was supposed to last for 2 weeks. and she was supposed to be fine, but like everybody knows, we brought her home. She was a change cat. She loved being outdoors, and I have videos of y'all know that we have a ramp for Dozer. She would sit under the ramp like what do you call it at the
Like,
bridge?
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like
yeah.
the whatever at the bridge, whatever. So every
Yeah.
time Dozer would walk down, he would look for her, and but Friday, I was on working 3 to 11 last week. She woke me up at 5:45. That Sassy wasn't doing well, and she was just laying on her big fluffy pillow.
Right.
And we decided, okay, she's gonna go. She's gonna go comfortably, and she made it through Friday. And then Saturday, I mean, it was just when Jen had said that Payne made this sound when he passed, it was a sound I will never forget.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here thinking this whole entire time, I'm like, just Sassy, just go. And then what we researched later was she was having what they call grand mal seizures. I don't know if you know what that is. It's
Mm-hmm.
where your stiff joints go like out like this, and you're in an animal or anybody is like stiff.
Right.
And then she started making sounds, and
She had a lot. We didn't know how much her body could take, and
Yeah.
it's just awful. It's a
Yeah.
lot.
And we just didn't want to take her and have her put down because I know it's not on a cold slab, but I just feel like that's what happens. And
Right. It's
we more or less the whole day was hoping that she would just go, and then finally I made the call, and we were going to take Sassy because it was the quality of life that it was no quality of life for any animal. And about 10 minutes into the drive, as fate would have it, Sassy passed in Jen's arms, and which is whoever hears this, I'm not trying to be morbid, but I'm glad it happened instead of going
Right.
to a place and have her put down. And so we just say that she wanted to go outside one more time, and she hated car rides, but she wanted to go for a car ride. So
I don't
Yep.
think she wanted to pass in front of Dozer either, because Dozer, when she was having her seizures, Dozer was staring right at her.
I
and
sent you
he
guys the
knew-
pictures.
Yeah, I seen that. Was sad. Yeah, to see that.
And and the reason why we shared those stories, I mean, I know why I did, is some people just get animals and they just don't give a shit, and some people, like, I know a bunch of people just have animals because it's what makes their day complete. It's what gives them a purpose. And every animal has their quirks. Like, when you were saying Houdini somehow escaped all these chains and cables, and and you're talking about Mystery, who stays 6 feet away.
Right.
Pets are very important, and there were times that, like I said, the animals make me laugh, make John laugh, make anybody laugh. Some of the stuff that they do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he starts limping. That doesn't
Yeah.
make me laugh.
But so I think it's really important for people to understand that grief over an animal, it's not to be taken lightly. It's not to be pushed aside, and it's not, and you should not feel ashamed for feeling that way. And just before I hand it over to one of you, we were talking about, because we're concerned about Dozer, who is alone now, instead of having another
Mm-hmm.
animal. And so we just don't know what the effects of that is. So like George, and you guys, Eric, you guys have multiple animals. I truly believe that animals feel the hurt and feel the loss. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
We kind of struggled with that when we had a basset hound. His name was Duffy, and he was a purebred basset hound. We had him for 7 years, and he started acting funny. And we had Bella at the same time. So her and Bella, Bella and Duffy were together a lot, and they were actually pretty close, almost like Dozer and Sassy there was, and Peyton. So when he died of lymph node cancer. And we didn't even know he had cancer. He just started getting real weak and didn't have a lot of energy, and he wouldn't take walks like he normally would. So I was coming home one day, and he was trying to get up. We have like 3 steps on our back deck, just 3 steps. They're not very big. And he's trying to get up there, and he was struggling. And I just happened to see him, and I went up to him, and he couldn't even hardly move. He couldn't even get his paws up on this first step to get into the house. So I'm like, I told my wife, I said, look, I'm going to take him into the doctor and see what's going on, or the vet. So we took him over and he looked at him for 5 minutes and he says, he's got lymph node cancer and you can feel these ball things in his throat. He had so much fat on him. I mean, he was a pure, but really cool looking Basset Hound. He was a, real deal. And it was sad to see that. And we didn't know it. We had no idea. It was so far up in his neck. And so he passed, we had him put down. I stood there with Megan, actually was with me, and we watched him go down. And he gave him a shot, and it was not something that, you want to see. It's not right, but we had to do it because he was suffering.
Right,
And
right.
so we brought him home and we buried him and did all that kind of stuff. And so we thought about getting another dog, and we never did. We never got another animal after that until now Mystery showed up. So Mystery's Duffy's replacement. She's a cat, not a dog, but it still serves, she's here for a reason. That's how we kind of looked at it. And so we didn't move on. We didn't get another Basset Hound. We wanted to, but we decided not to. It was tough. So we just we have a little some picture frames and his old leash, and we keep it always on the wall in our house. We've had it there ever since he passed away. So we always think about Duffy. It's that's how we handle it as a family. Because he was a cool dog. He really was a cool Basset Hound. He looked just like the one on Dukes of Hazzard, or the Hush Puppy dog. I mean, he looked identical.
Oh,
Purebred. I mean, he was an awesome dog, and it was sad to see him die like he did. But
right.
it happens. But the main thing is we live the last day. Just like you guys were saying, you and Jen were just talking about. Your pets, they passed on, but the main thing, you guys lived the last day. You didn't go and put them into a vet, let them care for them, and all of a sudden you get a phone call and say they passed away. The main thing is with the support part is you stayed with them 100%. You're there, and that's the good thing about, I mean, death is sad, but the better part of it is you're there to support the cat, the animal right to the end. That's part of being an owner of a pet.
Just like you.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why we just decided. I know that we.
There's a picture of Duffy with me. Yeah, that's his face there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you were young.
Yeah.
So George, what would you like to add?
Furby, the escape artist, he was like holding up his one leg, and it was really bad and couldn't really tell what was wrong. So we took him to our vet. Our vet just happened to be on vacation that week. I mean, he's the only vet that works in the shop. But when he was on vacation, he has like a stand-in vet. And when we took him, they said, oh, it's a soft tissue injury. And they gave him some, we gave him some pain medicine and some anti-inflammatory. And he said, he should be good in a couple weeks, We're like, all right. So we took him home. We gave him the medicine and whatnot, which was a trick because I had to hide the medicine because I put it in peanut butter. And they say, put it in peanut butter, they'll eat it. I'd come back, the peanut butter would be gone, the pill sitting there in the food dish.
Yep.
I know.
They're smart.
So I had to figure out how to give him the medicine. But finally, once I got him the medicine, he seemed better for, after a week or two, he seemed better for 3 or 4 weeks. And he was limping again. I'm like, this is more than a soft tissue injury. And it was probably a couple months after we took him back, and our vet was there. And he ran some tests, and he says he has bone cancer.
Oh,
If we had noticed it a month or two ago, we could have performed surgery and taken his leg
off, right? Mm-hmm.
It's into the hip, so we can't do that now.
Can't do it.
So he gave him a medicine that was going to help build his muscle. He goes, he might have 3 or 4 months. But he gave him medicine, and he actually didn't seem to feel any pain for almost a year.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden the pain and the medicine wasn't working anymore. So we had decided that we were going to take him in and put him down. Because it's like, he's sore all the time. He doesn't like to go he'll go out to use the bathroom and he'll just walk. He won't run anymore. Even when he first got the cancer, after we gave him the medicine, he would run.
Yeah.
He didn't want to run no more. He barely wanted to walk. He just assumed laying on the floor, and he didn't even have enough energy to get up on the couch or anything anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, okay, it's time. The strange part about when we were in the room getting ready, he was going to get the shot. The weird part was he looked at me.
Yeah, that's what Duffy did.
And he gave me this look almost as if to say,
Mm-hmm. What you?
I'm good. I'm good with it.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's
And,
Oh,
and then that was it.
yep. Mm-hmm.
damn you, George.
Cried enough last week.
All right. That's
Remember how I told you that was the first time with him was the first time that I had openly cried?
Yep.
Yeah. That was the dog.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm with you. Yep. That's how I felt.
I don't know if you heard it, but I got a little choked up right there just now.
I don't know if you can see me and John. Yeah. That's why I said, "Damn you, George."
Right.
But yeah. I don't know. And everybody says that when you put him down, I don't know if this happened with you, Eric, but after they get the shot, it seems like they go down and then they almost like take a last breath.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That killed me.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
my God, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
Can't even imagine.
Yeah, Megan was standing next to me when they did it to Duffy, and they put the shot in on his back end, his back part of his butt area, and he was sitting up in a stance, just sitting like a normal dog would sit. And the next thing you know, his freaking head went right up. I was looking at him from the front. His head shot straight up, and then his whole spine just like moved right down, and he just passed on. It was it. And it was tough. Duffy he was an awesome dog, and to see him go down like that, it was terrible.
Yeah. And I think I've never taken an animal to be put down, and the strength that each of you had, and Megan, your daughter, George, were you by yourself or was your wife Jen with you?
My wife was with me, but she wasn't in the room. Our vet told us when we had called him and said, we think it's time.
Mm.
And he said, okay. It was a Saturday. He says, I close at 4:00 on Saturday. He said, don't show up until like 3:45. After everybody else is gone, you're going to be last all day. So no one will be around. And so they didn't have to close the doors. Normally you take the dog in the room, they close the doors, so no bystanders. There was no bystanders. It was just the vet, his wife, who's also his secretary, and me and my wife.
Okay.
And she actually stood out with his wife. And me and the vet were in the room, but she could see in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, our vet, he actually, he asked us before he put him down. He's like, look, you want to stay here and watch this. It's going to be very emotional. And if you're attached to the dog, it's not an easy thing to see. And he did offer to have a step outside. And we're like, no, I was good with it. And Megan, she said, no, I'm good with it. And she stood in there. And yeah, I mean, she's teared up, but she wanted to see the last of Duffy, and
You don't want to be alone.
Yeah. The weirdest part was during COVID. We had a Jack Russell Terrier he was born at Amish. I actually got him. I went to an auction.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to buy a shed. and I went to an auction. I actually didn't buy a shed. I just bought greenhouse frame, and I built my own shed. I just put
Mhm.
siding and roof on it.
Right.
It was a lot cheaper. But while we were there, they were giving away these dogs, and he was the last one left, and we brought him home.
Well,
But he had seizures his whole life.
mhm.
And finally, he got to the point where he was barely eating and he wasn't. So the seizures had gotten to him. So we're like, well, you know, we had to have him put down. But I had to take him. Our vet, it was on a weekend. It was just so bad that on the weekend we had to do it. We couldn't wait until Monday. Because he had like 12 seizures on Saturday.
Wow.
Like from like 3 o'clock to like 10 o'clock, he had like 10 or 12 seizures. So Sunday I took him, and I actually took him to Cornell.
Hmm.
I couldn't go in.
Mm.
They came out because of
Oh.
COVID. I came out. They came out. They got the dog. They wanted to know if I wanted to be on the phone talking to the dog while they were putting him down. I'm like,
Really?
no.
What the heck?
What the?
Okay.
I
Right.
don't even want to be doing this right now. If I can't be with him, I certainly don't want to be on the phone.
Phone, right.
Oh,
Or like FaceTime or something. Is that what they were talking
Yeah, I
about?
don't know. I was like, no, I went through that with my other dog. I do not. I said my goodbye when we were sitting out here waiting for you to come out. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on the phone. I don't want to be on FaceTime. I don't want to see him go down.
Yeah.
They brought it back out. It was the one nice thing, which is weird. I mean, it wasn't wood, but it was like a really heavy duty, thick cardboard. They
Mhm.
brought him out in what looked like a mini casket.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was kind of neat. He's buried in it in my backyard in the casket.
Wow.
I had
yep. Go ahead.
no, that was it. I had dug the hole while my wife was making the appointment. I went out back and I dug the hole. So that way I didn't have to do it because I knew I wasn't going to get back until like late.
Yeah.
Because it was probably 6 o'clock, 5 or 6 o'clock on Sunday.
Mm.
And it was like early spring. No, I think it was fall. So it got dark about 6 o'clock or so.
Mhm.
So I was like, I don't want to leave him out. I got to bury him tonight.
Mhm.
I had to go out and dig the hole a little bigger so the casket would fit.
Right. It's a bigger casket.
Jack Russell Terrier is what? Foot,
Small.
you know, a foot and a half long, maybe at
Yep.
best.
Mhm.
So I had to dig the hole a little bigger because the casket wouldn't fit in it.
Mm. Oh.
When I was listening to I think it was Eric, one of you had said, you know, when they gave the shot, the dog perked his head up, and I thought, no, I'm sorry. What I'm thinking is, George, when you said he looked at you in the eye, like, you know, like he's gonna, I'm like, oh, you know, maybe, you know, he didn't end up having to do it, but you know, then I listened to the story. The reason why I was hung on to that is because when I was at work, I was talking with Jen, and my one boss was there, and out loud, I'm like, because she was sitting on the pillow for 13.
Yeah, she was laying on the pillow from all day Friday.
Yeah.
Wow.
But when I called you Friday, she goes, she sent me a picture, and it looked like Sassy was sitting up.
9 o'clock, she was off the pillow, sitting up between the wall and the pillow. I took a picture of Jeff. I'm like, what the hell?
So in front of everybody, I literally was like, I go, what the fuck you mean she's sitting up? Like, not that I wanted her to die, but I'm like, wait a minute, like she hasn't gone to I mean, she couldn't get up. You know, we put pads underneath her so she didn't like completely be disgusting. She wouldn't eat, she wouldn't drink, and we weren't going to attempt that just in case something got lodged. But I remember being at work, and I'm like, what do you mean? Because I just told my boss, I'm like, listen, I might have to leave because if my cat dies, you know, I don't screw around when it comes in. I don't care. And then he hears me say, you know, what do you mean she's fucking sitting up? Like, she goes, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, this is great. Well, it was, but it was. So when I was listening to both of you, I just thought like maybe that was Sassy just saying, hey.
But Sassy couldn't
See.
I don't think she could see me because I tried to help her. She tried to get on the pillow, but her back legs had no strength, and she was
Right.
hissing. I'm like,
Oh,
kitty
okay.
girl, it's me. But her eye, like I touch, and her eyes wouldn't close. So she knew it was me, but she just couldn't see me.
See.
So with George, when you were talking about how you were just being prepared, I think I had Jen. I told you just go and get like a big thing, and if she's gonna pass a homo barrier, well. So what we did is when we came home Saturday, we just put Sassy in the bathtub, and we made her comfortable, and I said, hey, just let's get up in the morning, let's go do some breakfast, we'll come back and we'll do it, and I was listening to George saying it was fall. It was actually kind of a pain in the butt to dig a hole, and but I think that I don't know if I would have been able to take Sassy or any animal to a vet, and I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying I just don't know if I would have the strength, because when I'm making the phone call, I'm bawling my eyes out.
I'm crying in the background. No, I don't want her to go.
And I
Yeah.
know it would have had to have been done. And when I talked with the people in Auburn, they're like, we'll bring you into a room. You could be, and I'm like, okay. And
they were very nice on the phone.
Yeah, and I'm just thankful that she passed with us and not, and
Right.
but if when whoever watches this show, pets die, they do, but be prepared. Like as prepared as you can be. I question whether or not we waited too long, but that's just, it wasn't about the money. It was just like, I wanted my cat that I had since she was a little kid, and I remember I brought her home. And I didn't have anything to bring her home in, so I just put her in the car. Well, the cat's jumping on my shoulder and meowing at me, and it actually was my daughter's cat for a while. It was her Easter present, and we didn't know what sex it was, so she named it Jack, and then we took it to get its shots, and the vet, I'll never forget, the vet's name was Dr. Katz with a K, and she's like, well, yeah, no, and she goes, well, the good news is the cat's healthy, but Jack is a she, so I'm like, oh, okay, and so, my daughter Jenna ended up naming it Sassy, and I tell the story that Jenna held Sassy for about 2 seconds, and she clawed her, and she dropped her, and it became my cat, but just as you guys, you become, and Jen and Dozer and Peyton, you just become attached to your pets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
morning routines, afternoon routines. Like I just saw, you were showing how your cat was drinking out of your cup, and
just knowing they're there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just I just want to add one more thing just before so like we told you, when Peyton passed, Sassy was looking at Peyton.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that part of Peyton somehow, whatever, got into Sassy. I know that's far-fetched. It's just Sassy just did some characteristics that Peyton did.
Right.
I showed you guys the picture of Dozer coming over to check in on Sassy.
Mm-hmm.
And the first couple of times that we let Dozer out after Sassy passed, he went down the ramp, and the first thing he did, he looked to the side looking for Sassy. Because Sassy loved going outside, laying in the sun, just like Peyton loved laying wherever it was hot. He'd lay on the friggin' heater if we'd let him. So
right.
So just I just want to stress that no matter what pet it is, it could be a ferret, it could be a goat, it could be whatever. If you absolutely love that pet and you're attached, don't feel. I mean, mental health also goes for grieving over pets.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, my dad had two Chihuahuas. He called them Chevy and Chevelle. One was a male, one was a female, and they're same color. And he had them all through his illness that he fought for 10 years. And when he passed away at home in his room, his dogs were there with him the whole time. They never left his side, and he used them as an emotional support, because he went through a lot of ups and downs and things, and sometimes the pets are the only thing there, that.
Yup.
And, when he passed away,
yeah.
they weren't around very long. They got one of them got sick real bad, and the other one got unfortunately got in a fight with a Rottweiler. Somebody's
Oh.
Rottweiler got off the chain, their neighbor, and got a hold of Chevy, and he was the oldest one, and he died that way. But the other one, Chevelle, she got some kind of sickness, and it wasn't long, and she was gone. I don't think it was a year, and she passed away. It was weird, once he passed away. I don't know if he had MRSA and some other things going on health wise, and I don't know if it's something, the animal got it through him. I don't know.
Right.
Or if it's just an emotional thing, a pet goes through like a human, when you lose your wife or your
Absolutely.
whatever,
Yeah.
husband
Broken
or
heart.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, pets know, and I know we got to wrap this up. I mean, Dozer will lay out in the grass waiting for Jen to come home. They
used to do that in Romulus.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, but pets know, and you're right. And
He waits for you too.
sometimes only because he wants to know if I have treats. He likes to sniff my gym bag or whatever. But so I did a lot of talking. I know we got a couple minutes left. Just gonna open the end of the show for you guys to say whatever you guys want. We got about 3 minutes. Anything in closing?
No.
I don't really have anything. I mean, I have a sad story. When I was a young kid, I was about 12, 13 years old. We had beagles for several years. And my mom, for some reason, was negative against our dogs, and she would not let them come in the house ever. So they had to stay outside all winter long, all summer long, whatever. And I used to, get in arguments where they're saying, come on, we got to bring the dogs in. It's, negative 20 outside. Nope, they're not coming in the house. Not gonna come in the house. So I went out one day to feed my dog, the last one we had left, a male. His name was Harness, and he was on his chain. Went out to feed him like every other night, and he was laying there on his leash, dead, right by the doghouse, froze, because he was, because he would let me bring him in the house. I have no idea why. I was, what are you gonna do? You live in your parents' house, and sometimes they get the way they get, and so I lost a dog that I had for almost probably 10, 12 years, all through my childhood. I don't know if you remember him, George. I had him in Interlaken when I lived there. We had them in a little pen outside. They stayed in all the time and outside all the time.
Probably,
it's a long time ago, but yeah, he
Yeah.
used to run around the town with me all the time, and he was a cool dog. And he actually got run over in Interlaken. I was doing my paper route, and he'd follow me around the village doing my paper route, and he got run over by a car, not far from where you lived, just down the street. And then we had his leg reconstructed up at a vet, and then he lived another 5 or 6 years, and then he died outside in the freezing cold. And it's a sad story to talk about, to end it that way, but he was a dog that I was close to. And before that dog, I had a dog named Edward. He was a collie in Interlaken, and he was like the town dog. He knew everybody, and everywhere he went, he got treats. And he actually got stolen. I was at a buddy of mine's house. He would not let him come in the house on Main Street in Interlaken, and he'd never let him come in. And we just got home from a family trip from Niagara Falls, and I went down to my friend's house. Edward followed me down there on my bike. I went upstairs to my buddy's house, and he always would sit there on the step outside the house. He would never go anywhere. He was always there when I come back out of the house. And that day he was gone. I never seen him again. I don't know what happened to him. I mean, it's sad. He was a cool dog, and I miss him every day. He's cool. I've never seen a dog like him. And he was a mutt kind of dog. He was when we got him, but we had him for years growing up as a child. And so there's a couple sad ones that,
Appreciate you sharing.
Went through, and it's tough, but just keep going,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wrap it up, and then we can talk after. But I want to thank. I know she had to go because her kids got back from trick or treating. I want to thank Beth Brown. I know it's been a while she was on the show. I want to thank Jen, George, and Eric. Thank you for sharing your stories. I know there was some emotions. Something we don't normally show on the show, but I'm glad that we did. I am your host, JK'z. This was JK's Rewatchable Hour. We're just almost at our time limit. But this was about pets. We hope you enjoy the show. Look for our uploads on YouTube. I'm going to include everybody's pets and stuff like that. So stay tuned. I want to say thank you guys. I'm going to let you all go. Thank you. I love you. The show is out.
Yeah.